Oh, hello again. Welcome everyone to episode number 55.
Keeps counting down, doesn't
Indeed,
it?
indeed. So another Friday here.
That's right.
And we're live again from Hearns in Melbourne, Flinders Street.
Yes, in Australia, because we do know there's quite a lot of people that are watching from all ends of the globe.
That's right. So welcome everyone. So let's look at the comments here. So Bruce is live. So welcome Bruce. We've got quite a few people already. Till a minute ago we had one.
Yep.
Now there's over 10 or so. So welcome everyone. Good afternoon. So as usual, we have our car here.
Yep, we've got the car of the week. So what we need is you to guess along the way. So which make of car this is, the model, the year, and the color if you can. And we'll have a closer look at it at the end of our stream.
Absolutely. So many things today.
We've got a lot.
Till this morning we had little, and by now we received a heap of stock. So we received some plastic kits, some really exciting ones.
Yes.
We received some body shells for RC cars.
Yep.
We received some hot bodies and Performa engines and parts, which is exciting.
Yep.
What else do we have here?
Train set
from Hornby. Very, very nice up here. Actually quite innovative with a new system that you connect your phone to it, actually. So it's not digital,
it's new, isn't it?
Almost digital. So very, very nice. And what else? I think
we've got a bit of stuff that we've been working on as well.
Bit of stuff we've been working on. So quite a lot. So where do we start? Shall we start from,
what do you think?
The Tamiya Phantom.
Okay, so Phantoms. So this is a brand new kit from Tamiya. So the 1/48 scale Phantom F-4B. So this is one of the earlier Phantoms. Very nice kit. It's all brand new. Quite ingenious engineering as well. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, you see the open box I've already done on this, and I've already started building it as well.
Yes.
So with the build, we're also working on another project where we're going to have a exclusive version.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you want to see all the details of the insides, then just head over to the YouTube channel, have a look at it. It's a fairly long review video, so check it out. These are actually available now. So it's interesting that Tamiya have actually allowed these to be released earlier overseas than in Japan.
Right.
They've done it for a couple of their releases, but this was first available in the US and then Europe, and now we've got them in Australia. These are actually officially going on sale in Japan tomorrow. So
wow.
I think they've already been out in the streets for about 2 weeks already. So it's a good thing because it just shows how Tamiya with their distribution really find it important to have the other markets rather than just the Japanese market get all the good stuff early. Yeah, and so it makes sense.
We were obviously very, very lucky to have a pre-production kit last week. So
yes, that's right.
DJ was doing this unboxing and some bit of assembling already. So
yes,
we've done a little bit of work, and we have also started doing some development for a couple of upgrade parts. So
that's right. So far, I've only up to a few steps, but these have already been assembled with quite a number of components. So let's look at the overview from the top. Okay, so you can see the fuselage halves there, and I've already started building the cockpit tub. Now I think one of the more impressive parts. Okay, so this particular fuselage half was actually in two pieces. You can see the two pieces are joined here. And they've been able to engineer it so that all the joins are actually panel lines. Now I've just tacked it from the inside. So if you see here, as I bend it across, you can see how it's opened up. But when it's all together, you can barely notice the joint. It actually becomes a panel line. And it's the same with this section here around the exhaust nozzles.
Yeah.
And also panels here, which cover up some internal detail. So hopefully you can see that on the screen, but that's superb. And one of the biggest differences with these particular kits is how fine the panel detail is and all the rivet detail. So that's where I'm up to there. So keep an eye out on that too. There's going to be quite a few segments.
Yep.
We'll get that all the way from building it out of the box with no paint, because this is a pre-production version. And we'll have a look at it with all its different options. Now, also, as we've got the cockpit tub opened up, with the, let's see, I haven't got the panels here. You'll be able to see Here's one of the side panels here for the cockpit for the pilot. Now, what we're working on is some very small additional details that'll go into here.
So let me open up the details. So these obviously are designed by Warwick, and it will be part of the Hearns Workshop range. So we're going to show it this way, but then we have some 3D screenshots as well, because these are so tiny. So these are exact replica of the original switches and you know, all the details to complete your instrumentation.
So there's knobs and toggle switches, and they're all in 1:48 scale, and they're to go right across on these panels here. So basically what you have to do is just drill out some holes for guiding, cut those off with a bit of a stalk remaining, and then just glue them in place with some super glue or good CA. So again, across here as well, it's just drill out the little holes. So I think you need to drill it out about 0.3 or 0.4.
0.4,
yeah. And then glue them in place, and they'll give additional detail. So with these here already, they do have a little bit of knob detail. But once you drill it out and you use these ones, it will be much crisper.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll just add that little bit extra.
So what I'm going to do, pop this here.
Yep.
I'm going to jump on the front camera, and what we may do, see if it can show.
Yeah, see if we can show them in a bit of detail. Because it's
hard
to see them.
If this works.
It's so tiny.
Okay, so we're going to release a kit as under the Hearns Exclusive, and so there will be these parts included, and additional content as well, specific content. As you can see from these images, there is a lot of detail. There's quite a few different ones. So I'm not 100% sure. Let me see if I can pause this. Quite a few different products. It's probably, what do you say, 30 or 40 different ones?
Yeah, that's right. So it's hard to see, but there's quite a few different shapes.
That's right.
And on this tray as well, I think there's enough for additional projects.
That's right.
So the toggle switches and such, you'll have toggle switches in the up or the down position, so the angled.
That's right.
Also the knobs with different shapes, because the whole idea apparently was within the cockpit, they had knobs of different shapes so that the pilot could actually get them by feel without having to look for them.
Yes. So
that gives a good idea of, you know, how much work's gone into each one of these. But I mean, they are minuscule.
That's right.
And they're always hard to see when they're on the tray, just like this. But once actually glued on and then painted and dry brushed, they'll make a world of difference.
That's right. So keep an eye out for this exclusive release. So we have it already available listed on the website.
Yes.
It will become ready probably next couple of weeks. And there will be these Hearns Workshop parts available, as well as additional content that we are preparing at the moment. There'll be some tips on, you know, how to assemble your models. So as BJ is going along, is recording some specific videos to give you some suggestions.
Yeah. So I mean, as we build, I think there's a lot of build videos available of various subjects. But we're going to have the full length, where some people might find it boring, but it'll be quite interesting for a lot of people just to see the methods that I use, because my methods will probably be different to everyone else's, and just where I apply glue and how I apply it and how it all comes together. So we're not going to complicate it with the paint, as I said earlier. It's just going to be building out of the box. But from that, we'll be able to see just how good the fit is and how good it'll look at the very end. So yeah, next week,
Yes.
So far it's looking pretty good. So that's just held together the two halves, fuselage. There's actually a lot more to this, because inside it does have quite a few engineering hard points for strength. So across in here, and some sub-assembly in the center. So yeah, we'll move on to that as we get there.
Absolutely.
So that's really impressive.
That is
looking forward to trying those too.
Definitely impressive. So we are less than 0.5 millimeter.
Yes.
So and when you actually look at them with a magnifier glass or with your night visor, there actually is a huge amount of detail. Just really hard to see at naked eye.
Yes.
What they are, but I'm pretty sure that once you actually install them and put a bit of weathering, they will definitely come up. This gray kind of color is kind of, blending a lot of detail.
Yeah, it's really uniform, isn't it?
Very uniform, yeah. But we had a good look this morning. So these were designed in the last week.
Yep.
And we looked at them this morning. We prepared them overnight. Yeah.
It's really exciting.
So limited release, Hearns Workshop with the Tamiya Phantom F-4B.
Yes, that's it.
Very good. All right, so I'm going to park this for a second. Got quite a bit of guesses on the car, actually.
Oh, have we now? All right.
So someone said above here there was a Charger. What is it? So it's a Charger, or someone suggested a 69 Dodge Dart.
It's sort of close, but not quite.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
So try again. Keep trying.
Yeah, they're close, but yeah, we can't really say that's it.
Absolutely. So
how's that? Let's change it. Oh, it might be a bit hard to see.
A bit
but
hard
yeah.
to see. May have to go up again. Let's
All
go
right,
up a little bit. Oops. All right,
there we
that's
go.
good.
Look at that bit of technology.
Absolutely. So,
All right.
As we move from the Phantom,
Yep.
we have another opportunity to review a brand new kit from FD Club. So, again,
Yes.
thank you to
Yeah, it's AFV.
in Australia here.
Yes,
They
that's right.
sent us this model to review,
Yes.
which we have already done. The
The
Open-
open box.
open box review.
So it's just going into post-production at the moment. So
Yep.
that'll be available to see next week as well. So I go through all the sprues in detail. And I think eventually I'll be building this as well, just to see how it comes together. It's quite interesting that this particular armed personnel carrier, let me just move that.
Sorry, phone is going. There we go. Sorry a second. Phone has rung. So here we go. We're back again.
All right. So what was I saying? It's quite interesting that this particular armored personnel carrier. So the M113 is quite a well-used armored personnel carrier all around the world. American in design, used quite heavily in the Vietnam War. So Australia was also involved in that conflict, and did choose this particular vehicle to use. So the Americans, alongside the Australians, were using this vehicle, and then the Australians found that the open cupola for the commander was a bit of a weak point, because there wasn't any protection for the commander when he's out to use the 50 caliber machine gun.
Right.
So they were looking for ways of protection. So in the meantime, there was locally made gun shields, and while they were using those, they were evaluating this particular turret. So this is the Cadillac Gauge T50 turret. It carries 2 machine guns within it. And then that configuration was changed over time too. So with 2 30 caliber machine guns inside, it was really tight.
Right.
So they decided to go to a single mounted 30 cal and an externally mounted 30 cal.
Right.
So that the commander, because quite often the commander will be sitting outside as they're doing their patrols, he'll be able to engage a target quickly on the outside, and then be able to get back inside and then traverse the turret and get the full protection of the turret in that case. It also had an option where they used the 50 cal as well. So there's 3 different options of doing that. And then there's also quite a lot of new components which were tooled up for this version. So the Australians had a very special ammo box racking system, which was on the top of the hull. It also had additional armor plating on the base for mine protection, and also some more armor plate underneath the sponsons. Apart from that, a few different parts. So the whole upper deck is actually a brand new sprue, so that's all different. The hatch for the driver is slightly different shape, because I had to shave or change one side of it so that it'll open, because the turret would be in place. Let me just move some of this stuff here. All right, so here's a hull. So this is from the original M113, which was very good that they produced. Okay, so the hull didn't change at all, but what you'll find is the base, there's a new armor here, and also underneath the sponsons on each side here. Now let me see if I can find some of the very unique parts. So this one here, this particular sprue is very special because it contains some famous Australian weaponry there as well. So there's the Owen submachine gun, which was carried over from World War II. There's the SLRs, which was a primary weapon of the army. And there's also the interesting Australian F1 submachine gun. So similar sort of shape with the vertical ammo feed. And then there's some Sterling machine guns as well, which are the British ones. Got some 30 cals here as well. So that's the weaponry, which is great because it's very rarely seen. And then I'll move on to this one here. So this is the whole sprue for the Cadillac gauge turret. So this is specific to the Australian version because only the Australian Army used this configuration on the M113. Okay, so you see the front here. And then you've got the turret ring, base of the turret. So this has got the full interior detail for this particular turret as well. So it's got supports for the floor. That's a floor there. And then you've got the mantling cover here too. So very beautiful kit. So look out for the open boxing of this. And I'll pinpoint all the various unique differences.
Parts, yeah.
Really good. Beautiful. Really excited. I mean, it's always exciting to get something very Australian.
Yes.
Because
doesn't happen very often. Really.
No, that's right. But every time Australia has been in a conflict and used equipment, quite often the equipment is from another overseas power. Australians always personalize it.
Yes,
customize it to
some additions. Yeah,
that's right. To the way
they operate.
Yeah, that's right. So that's beautiful kit. Look out for this. So this will be available in Australia in the next couple of weeks. And I guess it'll be available around the world at the same sort of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so very nice. Okay, so that's the M113 from AV Club.
Very good.
All right.
So meanwhile, there's more talking about the cars here.
Right.
So let me see what I've missed up here. 69 Dodge Dart. We already saw that one.
Yeah.
Dodge Challenger or Plymouth GTX.
No, I don't think so.
Let's check it out. Let's see what it says.
No, it's a bit different.
So what is, there was a 1969 above there that I saw.
It's close. 69 is close.
69 is close. Dodge Dart 1969. What if the Dodge Dart did look very similar? VG Pacer.
Oh. Okay, so we have to give you a VG. So it is a VG, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not a Pacer.
Well, Frank, do you know which car we have here?
What car do we have here?
All right,
yeah,
so
you can't say what it is, but but do you know?
Do I know?
Yeah. What is it?
No.
No idea.
I would like to say that I would know. Has anybody guessed it?
No, not yet.
Nobody has guessed it yet.
Getting very close. You're getting very close.
What color is it?
I can't say that.
Oh,
brown.
Yet.
Brown?
Can't say
Could be
that.
orange. How are we, guys? Thanks for having me. What have we been talking about?
Well,
plastic kit so far.
Some
Yeah?
plastic kits.
Is that that new prototype thingy, Bobby?
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. How's it coming along?
It's getting there.
Yeah, you're happy with it?
It's really good.
That is really impressive.
Just pushing it together. You can see how close these joints are. Look at that.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Well, if you were happy, mate, you'd know.
I'm happy.
Good. So you got lots of stuff
We've
today.
got lots
Let's
of
go
stuff
to the body
to talk
shell.
about.
Do the body shell here.
Oh,
That's
look at this.
one of our favorites. So from BT Design, just released probably a couple of weeks ago.
Released a couple of weeks ago. This is the first of its kind in the country, and
Yes.
it's the Hyper HR, isn't it?
Yes.
HR stands for high rotation, I believe. So
Right.
it's meant to have all the stability and traction of the previous Hyper body, but with more steering and better rotation.
That's
so
right.
yet to be seen on track or tested here in Australia, but there's lots going out the door.
Absolutely.
So looks like they've put awesome amount of detail. It's really hard to see on these.
Camera. You should be able to see a little bit.
So
It's
hard.
got some really unique design features.
Oh, I love this plenum chamber here for like where the wipers, I suppose, would
Yep.
sit. I love these real indented bonnet scoops.
Getting the fenders.
Yeah. On the top quarter panels
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
we've got these, and that'll really help with the body strength.
That's right.
I quite like the window frames along the
Window
sides.
Yeah,
Because
on
they're
the top.
They're basically like a fin, which adds so much
Yeah, well,
strength.
I suppose it's like a big fin also. It's going to hopefully channel that air smoothly
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
body.
yeah.
I mean, it really, you can see each and every part of it really has been designed in a wind tunnel.
It's
It's got beautiful curvatures on the side. And look at the back and the detail. Instead of just coming straight down from the tail lights, you can see it's got this another little ridge here, 45-degree angle, and that's going to give a lot of strength too.
That's
to
right.
aid in body tucks and stuff. And I'm sure we'll be able to cut it up nice and high.
Yeah.
The 35mm requirement, and yeah, super strong around the tail light and wings.
These reinforcing ribs here too.
Yeah. It looks like this is the most highly detailed touring car body I think I've ever
seen. Definitely.
It's got really all the deep. Look at the little fins on the front here. Can we see these?
Yes. Yeah.
Get up closer here. Little fins over the front here.
And once again, BT is managing to put so much more detail to the body, which including the window frame, as you suggested, so much detail. Really makes it
and
look
all
good.
the curvature they've really done. Like it is chalk and cheese compared to the old one, isn't it?
That's
like,
right.
They're calling it a hyper, but it's nothing
Much
like
more
the previous
improved,
one.
Definitely more detailed
So,
and everything.
We've got it in 2 thicknesses.
Yeah.
0.5 and 0.7. I'm assuming we've got the ultra light, which is one is with the big pink sticker.
Yep.
For the ultimate in performance, and then we've got the
Standard.
standard. They still call it lightweight, but yeah. So we've got ultra lightweight and lightweight. Yeah, most people probably choosing the standard one for a bit more robust and stuff. But with the big events that we've got coming up lately,
Definitely.
I'm
Ultralight
sure
would be a winner.
the ultralight will be a winner. The wing looks the same. Maybe they've even put detail on the wing now. It's
That's right.
embossed with Biddy on it now,
wow.
which is fantastic.
Well, that'll give it a bit of strength by itself as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it should do, and it's actually panelled up a bit. I can't not be able to see it on camera, but it's actually a bit of profile curvature here.
Right.
So looking forward to. I think we might have to
Make
paint
one
one
up.
up or do a video next week.
That's
Actually,
right, yeah.
maybe put one of the stencils to work and pull my hair out, try
That's
to
it.
clean an airbrush again.
And obviously it does come with this traditional sticker sheet. So you've got
It's
all
a
the
big
nice
sheet, isn't it?
big one, yeah.
It is a very big sheet.
Got all the grills, the lights.
Yeah, Biddy Design do fantastic jobs with their stickers. A lot of companies don't pay a lot of attention to them, but these ones here, they've
pre-cut as
added,
well.
yeah, they're even pre-cut now.
Oh wow.
So really good for around your grills and stuff that you don't have to cut them out, and your tail lights. Yeah, it comes with wing buttons as well, which is nice, and your window masks, which is really good. And even masks now for your wing end plates.
That's right.
Because they're in the rear wheel arch now, to save you cutting them out or masking them up yourself.
Yep,
They'll even give you those. So
That's,
a lot of people
that's
don't
complete.
go with that.
Very
Yeah,
complete.
because a lot of people, it's an afterthought and then go cut their wing,
That's
the
right.
end plates out and go, oh, it's got all funny overspray or whatever on it,
Yep.
because they haven't really thought about it beforehand. So really, really good. Really happy with that. Yeah, busting to get one out.
Nice.
Good.
What else have we had coming? Everything
let's-
coming today, haven't we?
So much. So where do we start? We start from the engine.
Let's start from the top shelf.
All right.
I
so
guess I'll stick
engine
all these
pipe.
coming.
Engine and pipe combo. Now, one of our drivers and great customers, Mark in South Australia, has let me open up his engine and pipe combo today, if I can even assemble it correctly.
That's it.
So it's going to sit this way on the vehicle, in the buggy. This is designed to go in an 8-scale racing buggy, this setup. New black pipes, meant to be super strong. You can see up in here, we've got lots of reinforcement. Try and get it into zoom.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess with the pipes, they always hang out the end, right?
Yeah.
So they're outside and they can get a bit of a whack.
So you can see we've got this little bit of bridge in here, which will be a solid piece of, it looks like a solid piece of CNC alloy. It's actually wrapped around here as well. So
Yes.
hard to get the detail of these. These things are now just so intricate, aren't they?
Yeah. Very intricate. Yeah.
And the good thing about these black pipes,
Look at this heat sinking.
yeah, and the really good thing about these black pipes is they actually don't stay black.
No.
Initially, when we got them in, people said, "Oh, it's gone all discolored," but I think it actually looks better. It goes all gold and purple, and actually looks really factory, I suppose, and tough in a way. It looks almost like titanium exhaust and stuff. How it all discolors, so it still looks neat, but does discolor with use. But I think it looks fantastic. Then here we've got the new. A few weeks ago, we showed its brother. This is a brand new Performa P1 version 5. 7-port radical tuned engine. So this is the top shelf, and as far as what they call radical tune, yeah, brand new looking, same as its 3-port brother with the gold, the 2-stage anodizing.
Sort of stealthy, but bling at the same time.
Bling,
Yeah.
That's very good looking.
Super neat. Now this one's not going to discolor. This is, this is going to stay very standard. It's got beautiful design on the back plate. Yeah, it's from the 3-ports that went out a few weeks ago, really good reports.
Yeah.
So the 7-port's gonna. What's the main advantages in the 7-port?
Should
Would you say?
taller? Really? Should get a bit more top end.
Yeah, so it probably won't be as punchy off the bottom, will it? Should have a little bit broader. Probably move the power
Up a little
curve, probably up 5,000 RPM or something like that. So it's probably more suited to your buggies and your more open tracks rather than truggies and short tracks. And again, it comes with 3 chokes. Comes with 7.5. Comes installed with the 7. Then we got 7.5, and then for really small tracks, you got the 6.5.
Yeah. 6 will save quite a bit of fuel. So specifically, if you're trying to get runtime on engines, you put a smaller Venturi, and you need to also adjust your endpoint on the throttle. In that case, you will start saving quite a bit of fuel.
Yeah, probably work more efficiently. I'd say people probably have their motors too open rather than too, you know.
On my OS, when I was racing almost 7-8 years ago, I was always running a 6.5 Venturi.
Yep.
And you had a huge runtime. Power was much of a problem. You probably lose the top end a little bit, but that's where you save your fuel as well.
Yeah.
And makes the car probably easier and more consistent to drive. So
a lot of people seem to go now with such an aggressive tune. I was just saying this morning, such an aggressive tune. You know, I was watching a bit of American racing a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Their engines sound completely different to what I saw of Renault in Portugal at the moment. The European and the European and the American engines just sound so different.
Definitely.
The Americans have got their motors so highly tuned and modded, and they're just screaming and look almost undrivable compared to the Euro guys. You know, just different horses for courses. It almost looked like the American guys have got like another 20% nitro in there.
Seems like.
Yeah. So looking forward anyway to getting these out there.
There we go.
This is Mark's. It's on its way. It's already got a home, this one. So it'll be tearing around the tracks of Adelaide
very soon.
Very soon. Very soon.
Performa P1.
Fantastic. New 7-port.
So along with a brand new engine, you have to have a brand new clutch.
Yeah. Well, Hot Potties have come to the party there with their new 4-shoe. Because you thought that 3 shoes wasn't enough.
Now you get 4.
So now we've got 4-shoe clutch.
So Lossy released a 4-shoe clutch many years ago. It could be probably 15 years ago, I guess. You know, and that was one of the very good clutches out there in the market. But I guess the standard is 3-shoe clutch really for one off-road racing. 3-shoe clutch is where
it's been the go-to for a long time, hasn't it? And it's probably proven itself as reliable, forgiving.
That's right.
You know, but as these things get more and more refined, we're talking about now 4-shoe. So sure, 4-shoe is probably going to be a little bit more positive, probably a little bit more tunable.
I think it's definitely more tunable. I think it's been more. Oh, I need to cut it open, but it's a bit more. I guess the 4-shoe is a bit more complicated to maintain. Obviously, you've got 4 shoes, 4 springs. It's harder to, I guess, put together. But it's meant to be a lot more tunable because having 4 shoes, you can have 4 different springs. You can have, say, a 1mm springs, a couple of
you might have 2 harder, 2 softer. You might have 1 really light. You might have the other 3 heavier.
But you also
get that take up.
Can have different material shoes. You can have 2 carbon and 2 metal
alloy.
And it's meant to be more symmetric. So if you have, your 2 opposite shoes in carbon and 2 opposite in metal, definitely more
balance, more harmonic.
So it's a few manufacturers that have gone through this. Fioroni from Italy used to do a very good 4-shoe clutch, which was very complicated to put together somewhat. You need a special tool, but these guys have done something quite nice.
Yeah, they've just really taken a 3-shoe clutch and I suppose shrunk it, re-engineered it, and it's very similar in design.
Absolutely.
We've got the 220-degree clutch shoe springs here.
Yep, so they're a bit shorter than normal.
They're a bit shorter than normal, and they're coming in 3 different weights or 3 different thicknesses.
Yep.
For full tuning options, and then we've even got this little clutch tool here.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Just to get the shoes on and off without getting your pliers in there, bending your springs, I suppose, or over tensioning them.
Yep.
You can just sort of get your little tool in there with your finger and pop them on and off.
Most importantly, you're not going to get the screwdriver in your finger.
That's right, or the spring in your eye.
So having the good tools, specifically when you do clutches, it's really important. You probably know from your days racing on road.
That's right. You got to keep them clean and keep fuel away from them.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's really a really important part of the
They're
whole
a really
thing,
big tuning part of motors.
So,
it was ever critical. So even now, guys are rebuilding they'll put new clutch bearings in their clutch bells before big races now.
That's right.
Especially in nitro, they get such off-road, they get such a hard time.
That's right.
So to go with the new 4-shoe clutch, Hot Bodies have also released a new vented clutch bell.
Yeah.
So people are in two minds about vented clutch bells. For on-road and stuff like that, they definitely let more air in, more airflow around, let more heat out. The off-road guys, I can get rocks and debris and stuff in there. So
it's a trade-off, really.
It's a bit of a trade-off for it. But hot bodies don't usually just do things for the sake of it. I'd like to think that they've known what they're doing, and they've produced a really good, valuable part for your car.
I guess if you're racing in a very dusty or loose environment, that's probably not ideal. So you should consider that. But often enough, if you're racing good prepared trucks, and there's not as much
I suppose
dust,
that's what they've done. Yeah, a lot of the tracks that these guys are racing at, all the serious races, are very highly prepared.
That's right.
Oiled tracks, stuff like that. And I can only imagine the amount of heat that goes into the clutch on an oiled track.
Absolutely.
When a nitro engine
is engaged,
or when it's got that take up of actually putting down power and not just wheel spinning, that's when you're going to have maximum load on your clutch and generate most of your heat and a lot of friction.
That's right.
Nothing worse than having your clutch start fading.
And they start to fade. They overheat. Then the springs lose their tension, and it fades, and it just the car becomes all doughy.
Then your tune is off effectively.
Then your tune's off.
Get engaging too soon.
It's hard to jump. I mean, I've only ever done it on road, but it'd be hard to make jumps and stuff because you'd be just running off the pipe, what we call off the pipe. And if the engine's not operating in its RPM zone, then it's just not working, making any power effectively. So that's why we have the clutches. Yeah, and they're so adjustable. So that's a really cool thing.
Good.
Nice. That's exciting. Also wanted to touch base on a couple of things that have not gone out of stock, but we've just had new deliveries and stuff. And something that's highly underrated is a good quality car stand, buggy stand. That's a really nice big one. It's very robust. This is from Aromax, obviously.
Yep.
It's got rubber feet on it, which is fantastic because most people have got laminate or plastic benches.
That's right.
So your car doesn't move around on it. It's got these strips of foam here, which are really good, so your car's not vibrating and moving around.
Sliding around.
And it's got these big holes in it for your shocks.
And the small ones.
And the small ones, if it's 10 scale or, your car's got small shocks. So this will sit in the 16mm shocks, no worries.
That's right.
Really good. And like BJ said here, if you're just working on the top of it, you can just put it through the shock shaft on the side here and have it sitting over. So really good, valuable piece of equipment that's often overrated. Often underrated and overlooked.
Yep.
So I just wanted to touch base with that. We sell heaps of them, and there's very good reason.
That's right.
They really are fantastic. They're very good value for money. They do make somewhat prettier ones in carbon fiber and alloy and stuff, but when you're out nitro racing or you're buggy racing, this is the workhorse.
Strong,
stable. Strong. Go on the ground, whatever.
And lightweight.
You use that for a touring car as well.
You can, absolutely. They have a shorter one as well for touring car.
Can anybody tell me what this is?
Let's see.
It's a probe.
This is the new COVID probe.
Yeah. We can measure anything with that. We can test anything.
This is a ride height gauge.
And it's very clever.
Ride height. It is. It's extremely clever. Now we can see. Can we see here? Probably best to go overhead.
Yep. Let me put over it. There we go.
And got to try and bring the numbers into view, which is not going to be very easy, is it?
It'll focus.
It'll focus. There we go. So we can see we've got numbers ranging from 15 all the way up to 45mm. So probably even do 10 scale.
Yeah, you do 10 scales. Yep.
So do 10 scale.
25mm, 27.
Yeah, we've got 8 scale.
Yep.
And 8 scale truggy too, which will get with the big wheels will get right up. So it'll pretty much do everything. Now you can see as it pivots, it's a sliding scale. You can lock it up. Really good tool. And the beauty about this is, especially on off-road car with all dirt and muck on it and stuff, is you can get right under there.
That's right.
Like this one I've prepared earlier.
Right.
So we can see on this one here, if you got your sliding scale, obviously we wouldn't usually do it on a rubber bench, but you can get it right under there. You can get it on top. You can just leave it a little bit loose, and you can see where the car's sitting.
Oh, let the car sit on top of it.
And let it come back up. The car will come back up.
Yeah.
So you can just feel it there, a little tap. So there, give or take a millimeter, we're at 24mm. Quick. It's very low.
You're going to race on road with this.
Going to race on road. Yeah.
It's ready for the velodrome.
But that's how easy it is, because the other ones are really nice, but they're really hard to get in and out. You can look at it from the side on, front and rear. Really good bit of kit. This one.
Well thought through, actually.
Yeah, this is a hot bodies one. It's all alloy construction. Yeah, it's really nice and smooth. Really valuable. Anybody racing off-road, 10 scale or 8 scale. This, I believe, is probably the best ride height gauge that you can have in your toolbox.
I mean, it looks big, so it looks like it's hard to put in a toolbox, but it comes apart, doesn't it?
Yeah. You just unscrew this one.
Yeah.
There you go. 2 pieces now.
Yep.
1 piece to lose, 1 piece to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd probably just keep it together. Most people.
That's right.
I think so. If you're racing 8 scale, that's not a particularly overly sized tool for the rest of your stuff. Anyway, the hot bodies ride height gauge, definitely worth looking into.
Absolutely. Good.
Now, while we're on big cars again, I feel we have a little bit of an announcement to make.
Do it.
Announcement.
A big thank you to Matthew Jenkins of the Bendigo On-Road Racing Club. We are going to take the GTE 8 scales out to do a demo race, have a demo race day for the class out at one of their club days.
Cool.
So there's 3 of us committed and ready to go. Got myself, we've got Nick going to come out for the day, he's promised.
He said so. He said so. We'll check with him.
We've got Richard and we've got young Thomas out there.
Yes.
We're going to get out there, tear around, see if we can put on a good show, get some interest, and hopefully, work it into a regular part of the schedule.
That's right.
So, big thanks to Matt and the Bendigo On-Road Car Club. Matt's one of our team drivers and general good bloke. It's gone into battle for us at the club, and they've welcomed us. So really good to get out there. Hopefully the weather plays nice. And COVID plays nice too, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, nobody will be racing anyway.
So that will be next weekend, actually.
That will be next weekend.
So if you're up that way, make sure you head up to Bendigo Racetrack. There'll be 1/10 racing.
1/10. It's a 1/10 club. It's a 1/10 track. There's 3 of us. You probably wouldn't want to put more than 5 of us on the track. You probably want to stand back a bit and watch these cars. Watch these cars
flying off,
unleash the fury.
Absolutely.
That's all the RC news I've got this week,
Before you go, someone is suggesting that this could be a catapult for ants.
Oh, you could.
For ants.
Why couldn't we think of that?
Yeah, that would be a good
Put the
idea.
ant on the end.
Yeah.
And then you smack it over here and they go flying.
Well, I suppose you could. If that's your thing, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
It might be the ants thing.
Could be the ants.
Maybe they love it.
Could be the ants.
Or maybe that's a way to get them off your garden. Very good.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Brett.
Thanks for having me, and have a great week.
Thank you. So, perfect timing, Marlon. So, we're going to look at some trains, and Marlon is with us. Awesome. Welcome in.
Hi, guys. How's it all going?
So, before we go into trains, we have some debates on what car this may be. So, we've got Dodge Challenger, Plymouth GTX, VG Pacer, Valiant VG Hardtop 1970. Yes.
Yeah, it's a Valiant.
It's a Valiant.
Yep.
And 1970 is correct as well.
Yep. And it's a VG.
And it's a
so
VG.
I think that's a winner.
I think we got it.
So,
I think that's a winner.
I think we got it. So, very good. So, today, we just said before that we received this really brand new train set from Hornby.
Wow.
And it's very special. It's lots of innovation into this one.
Yeah, this just arrived, literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is, we've been waiting on this for quite a while. Because there's been a lot of news about this one. So at first glance, it might look like a standard Hornby train set. But this has a really interesting brand new control system that Hornby's just developed. And we're going to open it up and have a look.
Yeah, it's got this big box unit thing. That looks interesting.
Definitely.
And there's
that must be the controller.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's what they call the HM6000.
HM6000.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Right, it's huge. Sounds very huge, very big.
But the yellow packaging, a little bit different from the normal Hornby with the red. So this signifies that this has the new control system.
Okay.
And how this differs from their old analog system is that this is actually controlled from your phone.
All right.
So you can sync a smartphone up to this and operate your railway from your phone. You just have to get the appropriate app.
That's right.
And I believe it uses Bluetooth.
Right.
But let's open it up.
Let's have a look. So I guess this is compatible with obviously Apple and Android telephones. So you just need to jump on the App Store, and download the apps, the Hornby app. switch.
Thanks, BJ.
No worries. So I've got this here.
All right.
All right.
So let's jump on the top camera so we can have a good look at this. Here we go. So,
All right. So we've got the eco-friendly packaging.
yeah, here we go. Zooming up.
And it's a lot like, many of the other Hornby sets as far as the initial appearance, I guess. I mean, you've got these really interesting paint schemes. You've got Hornby's, I believe it's a Bagnall shunter, 040.
Right.
And we've seen variations of this particular one
Yep.
over the years, but this has got a unique paint scheme. Satellite, I think it's like a fantasy scheme.
Right.
They sort of gave things kind of a sci-fi kind of look.
Well, I guess a satellite as well because you're operating it remotely.
Like I love
True,
the
actually.
paint, the topography that they use. It's not typical of what you would have seen on
True.
carriages of this vintage, I guess.
No,
but
definitely not.
it's sort of like an 80s sci-fi movie credit scroll sort of.
Yeah,
look.
true that.
What's this? Ooh, Bates Fuels. That's cool. And what's this one? A little tiny open wagon. So you get 3 wagons and a locomotive.
Yep.
And then you get your point or turnout, and
Yep.
then everything you need to make a basic loop.
So this has got a pack A included, so there's an oval with a point, pretty much.
Yeah, that's right. So this
Okay.
already has pack A of
Yeah.
Hornby's range of extension packs, and this is the new system. This is the HM6000.
Wow.
It's very minimalistic.
It is.
And you can see where this plugs into the mains onto the wall.
Yep.
And then you have your output, 1 and 2. These are we've never actually had a look at one of these before. This is the very first time that we've looked at their new system.
Yes.
So we need to play around with this a little bit and get used to its functionality. But it's really interesting.
It's interesting. It's got the mounts on the bottom as well, so you can either put that either on a board or on your wall. It'd be interesting if you put it on your wall. That'd be really
Looks
retro
like-
looking, wouldn't it?
That's right.
Like that. It just mounts just like that. Yeah. And it's very light.
Very compact.
It's a lot smaller than a standard
That's right.
controller. Yeah.
Well, the idea is that you don't need to have it on your board anymore. It can be even installed underneath because it's connected via Bluetooth.
Mm.
So, really, you just control everything from your telephone once you're connected.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. You get a pre-made buffer stop, which is
Yeah.
cool
That's a nice touch.
for your spur that you get. And there is a driver and a fireman inside.
Awesome figures.
So there's some figures that require painting, and they look like a steam locomotive crew because
Yep.
one of them, the fireman, looks like he's shoveling coal,
Cool. Yeah.
despite the fact that we have a diesel engine.
True that actually.
So it's still really cool.
Maybe
though.
he was just doing some work on the
Steampunk.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll pop that back. I'll see if there's any documentation that comes with this. I'm sure there is because they'll have to sort of go into detail explaining to everybody.
I'll be interested to see what the 2 connections do.
Yes, yeah, we'll find out. Give this a
There
lift.
we go. Let me grab it for you. So once again, these arrived literally 15 minutes ago, just before we started the show. So we thought to pull it out and have a good look at it.
Well, they got the big track mat in there as well.
It's a usual track mat, which we're probably going to leave in here.
Yep.
And here, I think, is the quick start guide for. There's actually some testing. Here we go. There's a quick start guide.
Ooh,
Here we
neat.
go.
Very straightforward.
I would suggest that you probably can have a couple of different loops that we can control with this system.
So, yeah, you're right. Here's the instructions on how to get the app, whether it be for Android or for an iOS.
Yep.
And this folds out. So let's have a closer look. Oh, we'll start with step 1.
Step
Step
one.
one.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good start.
Getting to know the HM6000. It's a Bluetooth circuit controller. So you have your power indicator, your Bluetooth connection LED.
Yep.
And there's a reset button underneath it. So we looks like you get a special new kind of
Connector.
track connector to connect this up to the power supply. And that's what that interesting new plug looks like it's
Oh,
for.
makes it easier, doesn't it?
So once you've connected that, turned it on, downloaded the app, and then the transformers located inside as well. Ensure your power LED is solid red. So make sure it's almost like a wireless router kind of in a
Oh,
way.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, making sure that all of the right lights are functioning. You place an analog locomotive onto the track, connected to circuit 1, which is indicated here. Use your finger to drag the speed slider on circuit 1 from left to right until your loco is moving. So there you go. So you have a slider control. Let's bring this a bit closer. Slider control on your phone, and that is what controls the speed. So rather than having like a physical knob or dial,
that's right.
It's all app-based. That's really great because you don't even have to be near it.
So it's got 2 different circuits.
Yes, you can have up to 2 different separate kind of loops, really.
And operate from the same device.
That's right.
And it's in one transformer.
That's right. So
you got
this
your
is
inner
an
and
upgrade.
outer.
Yeah. It's very much an upgrade to the original one that you had to have 2 different controllers, 2 different power supplies.
Yes.
So now you can control 2 loops,
Yes.
which, I guess would simplify things from a digital, compared to a digital system, and still being able to run a couple of trains.
So let's see the plugging system.
Yeah.
So I guess I put the blank on it in case you're just using it for the single loop that you've got here.
You can
always open that up for your secondary circuit. That's nice, isn't it?
Very, very nice.
It's a really
so it's technological yet simple at the same time.
That's right.
It's quite an innovation. It's a really big innovation because the fundamentals of how these power supplies have worked has not really changed that dramatically. I mean, you do get like a smoother pulse with the voltage and everything than you had in the past, but this is like a totally new way of doing it. Yeah, which they've never done before.
Yeah.
So this may become the standard in the future at one point.
Let's hope it does.
Well, they'll be convenient in many ways,
Yeah, absolutely.
You connect everything to your phone and off you go.
That's really neat.
So, very good.
And it's all very straightforward. I mean, it's just as simple as the original systems are put together.
At first look, the interface with the app looks quite neat and clean, so it should be quite straightforward. You select your circuit, you look, and then you select the direction of your train and select the power up.
Yeah, they've done a good job of making it clear and concise. And doing things in a new way is oftentimes scary for a lot of people.
That's right.
I know they've given a lot of thought into making that transition as easy as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
very
good.
Nice.
Meanwhile, we received also a couple of other things from Hornby today that may or may not be new. I think there's this brand new release, isn't it?
Pop that over here.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been waiting on these for a little while. So they're this one I've never seen before. Vent Insel Meter, LMS. So that's LMS Railways. I'll have a look here if you want.
Insel meat. Keeping the meat cool.
That would be. So it would be an insulated wagon for. We can take it out of the packaging if you want, but might be a bit tricky actually. But you can really appreciate it, I think.
There we go.
If we don't get a reflection on it.
Yeah.
So I guess the LMS Railway probably had a fleet of these designed specifically for, I guess, transporting animals, slaughtered animals to markets and supermarkets and what have you, I guess. So it probably would have been cooled by ice, perhaps.
Yep. Maybe double wall or something. I guess.
Yeah.
A bit more insulation. Yeah.
Refrigerated van. Yeah, that's really cool. So that's new. And this is the first of a series that Hornby has done. The Beatles.
They're looking very festive, aren't they?
So it's Help. So they've done they're doing a whole range. This is the first one we've received, which is really cool. But they're doing a whole series to celebrate every Beatles film that they've done.
Oh, really?
So we'll get Yellow Submarine and Hard Day's Night and what other ones did they do?
I remember
those are the two main ones.
Three
main ones. I used to love this one when I was a kid.
Right.
I loved watching Help. I know it was like a really old movie even then, but it was just they're good fun. So that's really neat. It's the original album artwork printed on like a classic Hornby 2-axle wagon. So that's really neat.
Very cool.
So perfect for the collector. So if you love Hornby and you love the Beatles, this is pretty neat.
Definitely.
Perfect.
And still a collectible. Like Hornby every year releases the Christmas wagon and a few commemorative wagons. So it's almost a must-have. That there's, if you're a train fan, a Hornby fan, then you should definitely consider one of those to keep in your collection.
It's really nice. The printing is really clean.
That's true.
I would imagine when they have the Yellow Submarine, it's going to be really psychedelic and
yes,
very bright colors.
Absolutely.
I think Hard Day's Night, that was in black and white. I'm trying to remember what the album cover looked like for that. But
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But should be good. Very good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Martin.
weekend.
See you in a bit. All right, so let's park those out here. Where do we put the box out? Put the train.
Oh, I've
away?
got the box over there. Yep,
Very good.
it's all good.
So, lots of
we got
good
now?
stuff.
Yeah, lots.
So we
But there's still
have.
more stuff.
There's more stuff. We've got some plastic kits that I think we could go through. Then we've got a bit of RC stuff to talk about again.
Sure. Okay.
So,
Again, with the Tamiya stuff, I guess with the Phantom that came in, we've also got some of the other new releases.
which one you want to go first?
Oh, either way. So maybe we'll go with the Nissan 240ZG. So 240ZG is a very classic sports car from Nissan, and originally Tamiya only had this in a large 112 scale.
Yeah.
So now they've made a 24 scale one with all the engine detail and all modern tooling. So it's going to have similar engineering aspects to the Phantom. Being a car, it's a little bit different. It's a bit more simple, but it's just the way that all the components are being put together. Yeah. The other thing that was really amazing was the Senna McLaren that came out and the engineering that was in that. So this is more a traditional car, but just bear in mind that with the newer tooling, they're getting really, really crisp finishes on all their components. And the other thing that came in is for the 35th scale armor enthusiast.
Yes.
So you've got this. This is the German Panzer 4G early version. So Panzer 4 was the most produced German tank of World War II, and it's one of the only German vehicles in World War II that was used at the beginning or close to the beginning of the war, all the way through to the end. So being the G, this is one of the later ones, and this is where they upgunned it to a 75mm gun. And being the early versions, it's got the very unique, very round, what I'm looking for, muzzle on the end of the gun. Which is quite specific to this version. Yeah. Now we're beginning some mini art coming in soon as well, and they've got the later versions of the Panzer 4. Yeah. So they've got the H, which has got all the armor, which is around the turret and also on the sides, and then that's also the J as well. So look out for those. They'll probably be about another month away, I guess. Definitely. But Panzer 4, very cool vehicle. So and early designs, then they modified it to suit the times. Okay, so there are those two. And then we've got a good restock on Italeri. So that's here. I mean, particularly the Australian truck. So this is a Western Star, very popular. They haven't been around for a while. So this is a good base for a lot of guys making road trains. So you imagine, so it's already got the big bull bar, you've got the road train signage on the front, and then you just get quite a number of trailers on the back. We've got a classic Western Star there as well. Got a European Scania, so short nose. Got this up here. You got the Freightliner
up here.
Yep.
Good stock on trucks. We haven't had a good stock of trucks for quite some time. Actually.
No, that's right. Yeah, been getting very low. This is quite interesting. So
this is, I think, is new. It's a brand new release. So Italy has been producing quite a few off-road bikes in the last probably 3 years or so.
It's a bit chunky, isn't it?
And this is definitely a big chunky bike. The detail as well was very, very nice actually.
So they generally make their bikes in 1/9 scale. So I guess it goes back to HB, Italeri. What other brands are there? There's a couple of different Protar as well. From Italy. So 1/9 scale I think is a really beautiful scale for bikes because you can see so much more detail.
That's right.
12 scale is good, but 9 scale I think is just
slightly bigger.
Yeah.
And that give you early opportunity of putting a lot more refinement into the engine or to.
That's right. Because when they're built up, they're roughly the same size as an 18 scale car.
That's
so
right.
you can imagine how much more you can see. So this particular Kajiva, this is the Elephant 850. Very nice. So Paris-Dakar 1987. So that's the particular era
that's right.
You know, the rallying Paris-Dakar was really popular. That would have been about the same sort of time that BMWs and the Hondas were out. Right. And also with the cars, the Peugeots that were running. Yeah. Dangerous times.
Dangerous times.
Yes.
Absolutely. So.
All right, so we've got kits there.
And kits. So I've got a question here from Bruce. Bruce is asking, what is the big one? Not sure what you're referring to, Bruce.
Big one. Big over there. Over here.
Yes, let us know which big one, and we can definitely respond to that. So going forward, what do we have here? We're going to talk about some of the TRX4 installation we did last week. But before going there, we were going to show a quick video on, let me see if I can get this to happen here. A quick video on some of the products that we have been working on for 110 scale buggies.
Oh yeah, it's been pretty exciting. Yeah.
So let me jump on the video here. Let's get it started. So we've been designing some really innovative, or trying to design some front arms for RC cars, and we started with the Yokomo arms.
Yep.
And what we have tried to do is to do a few different designs. As you can see, let me pause this one for a second. This specific one it's a very interesting. So with the technology we're using, we can produce some shapes and forms that normally can be produced with traditional injection molding.
Yep.
But obviously we can't use the same material that we use in injection molding. So we need to use our technology at our advantage. And trying to produce some shapes that will be stronger.
Yep.
Taking into consideration the material may not be as strong.
Yes. Well, I guess the material has different
characteristics.
Yes.
That's right.
So it has strengths, but certain aspects of it, like elongation and things like that, are different.
Correct.
So so design makes a big difference there.
Absolutely. So we're using a very strong resin. It's from a technical perspective, it's very strong. It's a 46 MPa, which is a very, very strong resin. It's about 4,000-5,000 ton per square meter, to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
And it does have an elongation break of about 48%. So it's actually quite flexible still, but quite tough. And so we have produced 4 different, or Warwick has designed 4 different type of arms to try to achieve different kind of performances. The one I have on the screen now is probably one of the most interesting one, with all this kind of mesh on the inside. And that's probably one of the advantage of the 3D printing technologies, to be able to produce this kind of designs where with the mesh you can change the characteristics.
Well, it's a semi-hollow matrix, isn't it?
It's a semi-hollow matrix, absolutely. And I guess you can adjust the strength and the flex by playing around with that. So so we have 4 different ones. So the first one that we showed before here, this is quite traditional looking, but again, we work on the shape, is more organic, and we put more material in areas where we know it could break. So that's the hollow one. And then we have these 2 ones here that are designed to flex. As you can see, there is lots of flex on these ones. Let me jump back for a second. And they've been designed to actually, a bit more flexibility and a bit more flex on the car, really. So
it basically makes tuning and ability to tune a car endless.
Absolutely.
With this particular technology, because you can do finite adjustments and be able to make the arm do whatever you really want it to do. So after a bit of track testing, we'll be able to change that if we want a particular aspect to become more prevalent or
specifically
less.
With the higher grip trucks that we have now, we're trying to widen the front end of the car to give more stability.
Yes.
The grip is there, the car will turn. So you almost want to have a car to turn less, so it can go in even harder into the corners. So what we can do here, we can, produce the arm 2 or 3 millimeter wider, which in the scheme of things is quite a lot, and the car will perform really, really nicely. Actually, will improve in performance in some given conditions. Actually, Warwick is suggesting that the weight reduction is between 30 and 40% on the hollow version.
Oh, with the matrix one?
Yeah, with the matrix one.
Okay.
So, very interesting. So this is something that we'll be testing this weekend. So actually, we had already some driving the last few days, and it's actually been holding up quite well.
It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
So a bit more coming in the coming weeks. I thought it would be nice to share this information. So we have a question here. So Flight Ammo is asking, a copper tape of a few weeks ago, could run multiple lights up one strip of tape, and if solder multiple wires on the copper tape?
Absolutely. So if you use the basic theories for electronics, so you'd either run, so you'll have your copper tape, you need to have 2 runs. You have your positive side and your negative side. And this is particularly handy if you're doing like large, like even the fuselage of an aircraft. So you run all the way from the front to the back. And then if you attach your LEDs to the positive side to the positive, obviously, and negative to the negative, so you run them in parallel, you're going to have each one of those LEDs at the very same brightness as if it was by itself. The only difference is if you put on 2 LEDs, it's going to run the power down quicker because it's running twice the amount of amps. It's twice the draw. So for instance, if it was running for a couple of hours on one LED, it'll run for 1. So you just have to pay attention to the way that you hook it all up. Alternatively, LEDs can be hooked up in series as well.
Yes.
So basically, series it'll use the same amps,
Yep.
but the overall brightness will alter.
Yeah, a bit less.
So yeah, of course. So with the copper tape makes it so easy because the copper tape just sticks to the inside. You don't have all these loose wires going everywhere, because I quite like doing lighting in my models as well.
Yes.
And you end up with a rat's nest of stuff. So if you do the rails, basically it's a power rail, positive line and negative line, makes everything a lot easier. Yeah,
good.
So you can just work it out from there.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Very good. All right. So next we have the continuation of the TRX4 gearbox installation.
That's right. So you got a brand new metal gearbox last week.
I have. So let me grab the cards. So down here.
Yep.
So that is the car that we had last week here.
Yep.
And we've got a few bits here.
So last week, if I remember correctly, you had it all apart and dropped in.
That's right.
Into a particular spot, just like a sub-assembly.
That's
right.
right.
Like a real car. You just pull
Absolutely.
it in and out with some screws.
And now we have it installed here.
Yeah. So you got your motor all in there, the motor mount.
It's all ready to go and it's functioning. So what I thought we should do is I have a couple of photos here that we were of the installation. It gives you a bit of an idea of what is done. So one thing I've done that I suggested last week was to pull everything apart and put some grease. We use a TDK grease, which is a kind of a almost water resistant. It's not quite water resistant, but it is designed for that. And
well, it helps seal it somewhat.
It helps sealing.
Yeah.
Because obviously I will put this into water.
Yes.
There's no doubt on that. And as you can see from this photo here, I put lots of grease all around the seam of the two half of the case. To prevent or to limit the amount of water that may be going into.
So that would give it the gasket effect.
Pretty much so, yeah. And so, and another thing I have done, and you should always do when you have this kind of pre-assembled metal gearboxes or differentials, do everything and put some thread lock, because they will come apart. So this specific product is really well designed. It's really well manufactured. You can see it very, very clean. I had grease already inside, but I'll give it a good clean and re-oil it up. As you see, I put grease all around the seam of the gearbox. And when you close it, this is actually very important. As you can see, you want to have a bit of grease coming out. That means that you actually put enough so that is fully kind of covering the full seam.
So you don't have any misfits, because even the small scatter water will be able to get into.
That's right. So the more you have, and then obviously you need to give it a good clean, otherwise you end up full of dust. But give it a good clean with some degreaser, and you'll be good to go. And once I've done this, that's where we are today. We install it on the car here. And one thing you notice is actually really smooth. It's a bit more noisy because
metal to metal.
It's all metal to metal. There's a lot more metal than before. But it feels really good. It's quite smooth. So we can even put it on. But one other thing that we have been working on. Obviously, when you do this project in your garage, you end up losing parts, no matter what you do, or at least me.
You lost some
parts? Because I'm really organized and tidy. So what happened is I was ready to go, and I lost the bracket to install the gear shifting to the servo. So thankfully, we have our 3D printer, and we managed to print a new servo mount. And I thought that we could develop it to be a support for the battery. So let's jump on a camera.
That's a pretty solid piece.
So this is a piece that we've designed with the same raising of the suspension arm, which we know they are very strong. It's going to be really hard to break, as you can see. It's going to be very stiff, very rigid. So this is the first design. And we'll take this. You put your little servo in here.
So you got a couple of little ears to screw it on.
So the ears screwed on, and I guess you connect it here. Let me see. You got a little loop, and off you go.
Okay. So it looks a lot neater than before.
So that's all compact under here. And the idea is that at this point, we can extend this plate and put the battery here. So the next version of this mount, now that we have the basic frame, so that we know that the holes line up, and the servo is in the right position, we can extend this little plate here and have it as a battery support as well.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's just an alternative. When you run crawler, often you tend to run smaller batteries. You don't run gigantic ones. So this is probably almost too big. But in that way, we can move it a bit more towards the front.
Yes.
And can be a bit more compact. So this is for this new metal gearbox, which I think is really nice. We hoping to have some here eventually at some point soon.
Yeah, I hope so. They are very beautifully machined.
They're very beautiful machine. It's actually, they're not overly expensive. From memory, it was $110, $120. It does include everything, including the spur gear and the slipper clutch and everything. So it's really good. Let me turn the car on actually. So we need to plug the battery in. It's going to be at the...
Oh, that's all right. It does have a few things hanging about.
A few things that's very standard. Let's get power. That's not reverse polarity, because we don't do that here. Okay,
right.
so
sounds like it's live.
And here we go. Let's see if I can change gear.
The sound is good. I like that sound because it's really grunty.
It is. And here it is. So it's the TRX4 limited edition.
I like the way it's slowly getting upgraded and upgraded and upgraded.
This car has been with us for quite a few years now. I think 3 years or so. Has traveled the world a little bit.
Yep.
And does have quite a few parts. They're not original anymore. And it's been really good fun. This one
looks like a lot of fun. I can still remember this when you first got it, and we were pushing boxes around with it. It had so much torque.
True that, actually. Yeah, that's true. So it was our little helper in the shop here.
Yep.
What I thought we do, we have the original one here as well to
compare. Sure.
This is Tom's TRX4. So, I think he did a few upgrades, but not too many yet. And I think we should suggest him to put one of our snorkel.
Oh, it definitely looks meaner with one of our snorkels.
I think so.
Yep.
But that's how a TRX4 looks like when it's brand new, or almost brand new. Let's pop the body off.
The metallic red looks really luscious.
This metallic red is really nice.
Okay, so if we line them up,
let's see if we can do them here. Top view again. Here we go. Right. So original on the left here. So you have these original Traxxas brushed ESC.
Yeah.
Now this ESC is really nice in my opinion. Yeah. I had this for a long time.
Yep.
The reason I upgraded to this one was because we're doing some videos and we wanted to try the Performa ESC in part of the Hot Bodies group. So we had some of these, and that is also of the 3S capable. So we installed that one. So this got a nice, really nice ESC brushed motor. As you can see, the original radio tray,
it's quite big.
Is up on top here, which I can still put back on this car here. But as I said, I thought to design this new system here, and I will extend that one to have a compact radio tray. The original one, however, is really well designed. It does have a space here to put a smaller battery and put a lower. What we're trying to do with that is to put a smaller battery, which can be about this long at the front here, to put more weight towards the front.
For traction?
For traction, Right. Specifically when you're climbing steeper, obstacles, it's convenient to have weight at the front. If you have the Bronco version of this kit, you can actually install the battery at the front end here.
Oh, really?
I guess we can do it on this one too. We'll probably need to do some kind of a bracket. But the Bronco, it does come with the fenders pre-installed. So they're not attached to the body, they're attached to the chassis.
Yes.
And so all this part is pretty much sealed, so you can actually see the battery really easily at the front here.
Right.
What else do we have on this car, on our car? So we put the metal side steps. We got the sweep wheels, tires actually.
Are these the original shocks?
They are the original shocks, The original shocks are actually really, really good in my opinion.
Wow.
They've been into salt water many, many times. And still going well.
Still working.
Still working. Yes, absolutely. And obviously, being a Land Rover, we had the Land Rover flaps here.
Oh, yes.
Must have, really. What else?
Wow.
Oh, yes, and that's the TRX4. Very, very good project from Traxxas. Very good product. I really enjoy this one, and many other have. There's some new ones coming out too with the latest Bronco as well, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So will be quite exciting.
I get your brass portals on this one as well.
Got the brass portals, yes.
Yep.
There's the metal, the red. Even Tom has the red. Diff covers.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I'm really surprised of this car is that I'm still running the original plastic drive shafts, which I thought, specifically when you go into the IC a bit aggressive, they will break. But
Well, I guess they're a good quality,
very,
aren't they?
very well built. And yeah, haven't replaced them yet.
Well, nothing looks stretched either.
Nothing looks stretched. They look really tight and solid.
Yep.
I actually
nice.
had also installed the overgear and undergear.
Right.
What that means is the front wheels are going to spin slower than the rear ones.
Yeah.
Which means in a normal condition, when you put gas, the car will tend to kind of tip backwards.
Yep.
And by doing that, the car will stay a lot more stable and will keep the weight at the front.
Right.
So when you're climbing and you go on the gas,
Yep.
instead of having this effect, you
Yes.
can have the opposite effect.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So you can actually go up very, very steep climbs actually with the overgear and undergear. That means the front wheel will run 25% slower
Yep.
and the rear wheel 25% faster.
Right.
So huge difference.
Well, I guess that's changing the pendulum effect.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
and
Nice.
there is a lot more, but that's a bit of an update on the TRX4s.
It's been evolving over some time, isn't it?
yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
It doesn't look as neat as the brand new one, mine, but
It's good for action.
that's still for action. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the car that has gone through sand, salt, sun, snow, everything. So very good. All right. So let's practice here. And what else do we have?
What do we
I
have?
think we're almost at the end today. We've done our hour and 15 actually, so
Oh,
we
wow.
still have quite a few people. A few have left us because I guess people have to work
Yes, I guess so.
somewhat. But
Yes.
we, as you know, you can rewatch this through YouTube
Yes.
at any time, also through Facebook. So you can pop back and rewatch it.
And look out for some of our other videos as well.
That's right. So throughout the week, there's a video, at least one video every day coming out.
Yes.
There's some snippets of the lives, some brand new videos on tutorials. So we've done quite a few unboxing this week.
Yes.
Brett has done a couple of tutorials on shocks, I think, and
Yeah, that'd be good.
and drive shaft and uni.
Yeah. Really important stuff.
Quite a lot of content coming.
Hmm.
Very good. So let's see if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, we should have a quick look at this car actually and
Sure.
finish up the show. So one more time, top camera.
So what have we got here? We've got a 1970 Valiant.
Valiant.
What do you know about it?
So it's orange. I don't think we actually up into the color. I don't know the specific color of this orange, but I know there is a 1/18 scale and is made by Classic Collectibles.
No, this one's actually a green light one.
A green light. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's slightly different. Now, let's
So-
see. Does it have...
check if there's a little button underneath.
No, there's no engine.
No, it's not engine details. So that's just a shell pretty much. And got interior details and the two-door opening.
So you can see with these, they're quite a bit simpler than the Classic Collectibles.
That's
I guess
right.
Classic Collectibles is the next sort of step along. So it doesn't have the opening boot, doesn't have the opening bonnet, so there's no engine detail. But it does have a very nice paint finish, as you can see with the reflections there. Got some mirror paint finish, and then the really nice matte black finish as well. So just by looking at the bottom of the chassis as well.
It's definitely more basic than
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, basic, but I mean, it's not often that you'll be looking at the bottom anyway. So if you're
That's right.
collecting these, quite often they'll just be sitting like so. And then at least you've got the opening doors, so you can have a closer look at all the interior detail. And then you got quite a nice...
Front.
Yeah.
And rear end. Yeah.
So the grill's been quite well done. It's very sharp.
So the chrome is quite good.
Yep. Then at the back, you've got your lights. It's got a big Hemi written on it. So we can only imagine it's got the Hemi in there.
Yeah.
A nice big exhaust pipe.
I guess even though there's no interior detail, the overall effect of the car is actually really good. The finishing is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
So it will look really, really nice in your collection, actually.
Yeah, because some of these cars, quite often you see the mold lines.
That's right.
They haven't been polished up.
But these have been really well finished. Really.
Very nice indeed.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Okay,
Brilliant.
and so that's a Chrysler Valiant 1970 VG. Oh. Okay.
Very good. All right, everyone. So we're at the end of another episode 55.
Yes.
So ready for the weekend?
Ready for the weekend.
Yes.
It's going to be a bit of a busy weekend, I think, for everyone.
Busy weekend for everyone here.
Yep.
And keep an eye on our social media. Jump there. Just let us know what you think. If you actually would like, we can share some of your projects.
Yeah, for sure.
Just send them through.
Yeah, love to see that.
You can share some of the good ones and comments. So let us know what you would like to see next.
Yeah, for sure. Always want to get some ideas because our ideas may not be
your ideas.
Quite. That's right. What you'd like to see. So please let us know. We'll be more than happy to produce whatever you like to see.
Great.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, there's another show.
Another show. So thank you again for joining us. We're quite a few people at today, and have a good weekend.
See you later. See you next time.
Bye bye.